Hey, it's Wisconsin Wine Guy, and guess what? I'm back with another wine purge. You can see the wines right there, but let me give you some background behind this whole wine purge thing. Well, I have not as many wines as I had in the past, but I have a few hundred bottles, and some of them are pretty old. If you've been following the wine purge, you know I've done some 19-year-olds, 16-year-olds, 10-year-olds, but basically wines that are 10 years or older, I'm going to be opening. I don't open up a lot of my older wines, and you try to save those for that special occasion, or it's your last bottle of a lot that you've had, and you just want to push the envelope on it, right? So I try to do that, but it comes a time that, the wines were meant to be enjoyed. So I want to get those wines open, and I've opened quite a few wines over the years, older wines over the years, 20 plus year old wines, and that was before I started doing videos. And I thought, before I open up all the older wines here, why don't I share those purges with you? You may be able to find some of these wines in your market, at stores who carry some older wines, and maybe not. But I want to share some of my wines with you that I've sat on for a few years, and they give you a intro or talk about its journey. So today we're going to be purging the 2013 Baco Noir. 2013 Baco Noir. Baco Noir is actually going to be the name of the grape. This is coming from Parallel 44 Vineyard and Winery. They actually grow their own grapes there, and this is one of the grapes that they grow. And at the time, it was the only planting in Wisconsin. When they did that, it's probably some plantings going on now throughout Wisconsin, but at that time, they were ahead of the game in planting certain hybrid grapes. Grapes that are very readily and hardy for the colder climates. Like in the Midwest or in Canada, maybe in New York. So this Baco Noir is one of the grapes that they planted in the area. It is a hybrid grape, and I want to say to you, don't sleep on hybrid grapes. If you find some of those hybrid grapes, give it a try, because in the hands of a good winemaker, they can produce some marvelous wines. All right, so Parallel 44 2013. So we're looking at a wine. Ooh, wow, that is like 11 years old here. Okay, so 11 years old on the Baco Noir. Where are we at? Yeah, 2024. Yeah, that's about right. 11 years old. My last bottling, and here's why I'm doing that. I would have loved to push this further, but something I was doing with a lot of Wisconsin wines was the wines that I enjoyed in the early years of my coming to Wisconsin. I sat on a lot of Wisconsin wines, because even though Wisconsin was starting to turn that corner, become recognized for some of their wines, especially wines made with the hybrid grapes or cool climate grapes, there was still the idea, are they age worthy? And if you followed me, I've opened up some of the few of my older wines that I sat on at the time, and they aged perfectly. So Parallel 44, I did quite a few of those in their early years of 2005, 2006, when the vineyard was young. Then coming into up to 2010, I wanted to sit on quite a few of their wines and see what's going to happen in the future. As these grapes produce, as they grow, and started doing more with the wines that they grow in their vineyard. Right? So that being said, all right, we're going to be doing the Baco Noir from the Wisconsin Ledge. All right, Wisconsin Ledge is a wine AVA, in the Midwest or here in Wisconsin. We have 3 AVAs here in Wisconsin. Wisconsin Ledge is one of those. Parallel 44 is part of the Wisconsin Ledge, and Parallel 44 gets its name from the 44th parallel, putting them in line, with the fantastic growing regions of France and Italy, and producing wines that are similar in style to those of Europe. I'm going to decant as well, and then pour some in a glass. So when I open this, so this wine had a journey as well. Its journey, of course, began in the vineyard, then in the production of the wines, and believe it or not, a lot of the Parallel 44 wines, some of the older wines, I had a hand in the harvest. So I'm very, very always proud to open up their wines and share their wines, because I've participated in quite a few of their harvests in the early years. Look at that cork. And let me tell you, that wine smells wonderful. Now, Baco Noir will produce, some dark berry fruit. Thin skin, but dark berry fruit coming out. We're going to put my Hades Corker in as a little extra screening and aeration. I also have my screen here for that as well. When I begin to do decanting process. Let me put this right. Where can I put this? Well, I'm going to leave it right here so you can see it. I'll put it right here so you can see it. I keep lifting it up. I mean, that cork is just, you can get to see the crystallization on that cork. Isn't that a beautiful cork? Wow, that's gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. And it smells wonderful. So the journey of this wine, again, came through from the vineyard to the production, to bottling, aging in the bottle, and spit out. I believe this spent some time in the barrel. And then in my store, from my store, I took a few bottles and put them in my cellar, where the average temperature, in the winter was 55, average temperature in the summer was about 60. From there to the condo, again with another cellar, average temperature again was somewhat similar, 55 to 60, maybe 55 to 65 at that time. To a couple of closets, to a few apartments, a couple of closets, to now the wines are stored on my wine rack. So we went down from a few thousand bottles, to a few hundred bottles, right? So I don't need the whole wine storage thing now. I'm trying to downsize. So now on the rack, in which I try to maintain a nice even temperature in my home where the wines are stored here on the rack right next to me. So looking forward to seeing how well this wine aged on this journey through time. Okay, all right. So we're gonna get some of this wine poured into the glass. I mean, isn't that beautiful? Then I'm going to pour some through the strainer here and through the decanter, just to make sure that I don't get a lot of residue from the wine. So we'll set that here. Okay. Wow. I mean, this just smells absolutely wonderful. I wish you could smell it. They get to smell video at some point. With all this technology, let's get the smell video. But this smells wonderful, which is always a wonderful sign of your wine when it has been sitting in the bottle, for 10 plus years. So that's great. Now I'm going to read for you. I don't have a video this time, but I do have a video from the previous P44 Purge. But I'm going to read what they wrote about the wine when it was released in 2013. 100% grown in our AVA, known as the Wisconsin Ledge, may be the only Baco Noir grown in Wisconsin. Of French parentage and reminiscent of a Burgundy-style wine, evokes the verve and the bounce of a New World wine region, but also the elegance and nuance of European Old World finesse. Enjoy aromatics of raspberries and lavender and cherry. Offers mid-palate structure with a racy acidity, making it an exquisite wine to pair with turkey and other richer meats and dishes. Perfect to drink now, but will develop incredible nuance and structure over time. That was the write-up for the 2013 Baco Noir from P44 Vineyard and Winery in Wisconsin. So let's give it a nose. Okay. Wow. It definitely has a rich nose. I'm going to shake this up too. Let me move that over. I'm going to shake this up so that I can smell both of these. Coming from the glass and then more aeration here. Oh, wow. So in the glass here, you get spice. You get dark berry fruit. But coming over here, just smelling here, you do pick up some of those floral aromatics or herbaceous aromatics blended with the fruit. I mean, I have to agree. Still, I'm thinking back to the time when I first had this wine while I'm smelling it now, and it still has that vibrant, freshly made fruit smell of the wine. I have always say, I probably could have went longer. I probably could have went up to 15 or 20 on this one. But The tomorrows are never promised, and I just can't keep sitting on all this wine, right? Okay, here we go. Now, tasting again, I'm going to be tasting for acidity, and I'm also going to be tasting for structure, for fruit, and to determine if it aged beautifully over time in the bottle. Here we go. Okay. Alcohol is going to be 12.1%. My mouth is watering. Acidity held its own over a period of 11 years. There is no barrel aging here of this wine. So it's purely going to be the juice of the grape itself is in its true natural form. Wow. It's funny. I remember this. I remember tasting the grapes off of the vine during a harvest, you know, and just pressing the juice, the pulp in my mouth, and just tasting the fruitiness of the grape itself. Wow, definitely picked up on that. Let's get it in the glass here, in the decanter. Let's see what we have here. Now, a little bit more aeration here. Coloring on both of these. I mean, the coloring even held up is beautiful. It goes from a reddish to garnet coloring on both of these. So the coloring held up very, very nice on this wine. Ah, beautiful nose. All right. Wow. With the aeration from the decanter, it kind of softens the acidity, but the acidity is still there versus going straight into the glass from the bottle. Now, let's get a full, complete taste of this wine. Check out this mouthfeel and see where it goes. Oh wow. It definitely has a richness. Wonderful mint, as you described. It still holds when I recall. Juicy fruit, dry finish. From the decanting glass, you see, you get here more mid palate, fruit here, right up front, the aeration. It just all comes together as you swallow. Tannins are silk tannins in this wine. The thing about wine, and aged wine, especially some wines, you probably won't ever get this one again from P44 or Baco Noir. I will put a link in the description so you can go look at some of the other wines that they have made from local grapes, and all the grapes that come from Wisconsin or from their state. You know, but this is one of those that you probably will never get this one again. You may not be able to find it, is what I'm saying. But I would recommend trying some of their wines that they're producing today, and maybe sitting on a few bottles, you know, for 10 years or more, and seeing how it tastes to you. I'm going to give this a thumbs up for sure. It aged wonderfully, you know, over time. It brings me back to that time, remembering the taste of this wine. You know, just as you have this deep color here on the cork, you definitely get that richness here in the glass. Oh, and so I want to say this: as summer time ends here in Wisconsin, harvest time slowly begins. So we are going to be going into our harvest season in a couple of months here. So I'll look forward to sharing some of that with you as well, which is why I wanted to do a local wine in honor of Wisconsin's grape growing and my 26 years of being here and watching its growth and tasting the different wines and its evolution of quality. So it's your Wisconsin wine guy saying, as always, let your palate be the guide when selecting your wine. And if you have some wine you're sitting on, I'm going to encourage you to purge, purge, purge. Share those wines with your friends, or share those wines in a video, or maybe drop me an email and then we can go live together and do a purge. So I'm going to see you on the next wine purge for 10-plus-year-old wines. And this is Wisconsin Wine Guide sending you again. Let your palate be the guide when selecting your wines or purging your wines. Ciao.